Before television existed, people communicated with the outside world through windows. Since the 2010s, the most common aspect ratio for televisions and computer monitors is 16:9. Take a look at this window. Isn't it interesting that windows with these 16:9 screens existed in the past? So today, I'd like to talk about the doors and windows of a traditional Korean house known as hanok. This is 문, doors, and this is 창문, windows. Then what about this? Like this, in hanok, it's difficult to clearly distinguish doors and windows in terms of shape or function. If it is suitable for people to pass through, it's a door. If not, it's a window. While in poetic or abstract context, like a window of the mind or the window of the computer monitor is called 창. But in the case of a house, 창문 are usually used. Literally, 창문 means windows plus doors. This seems to originate from the characteristic of a hanok, which does not strictly distinguish between windows and doors. How does this door open? Open a sliding door by sliding it to the side, and open a swing door by pulling it forward or backward. And there's a very unique window. How does this open? Look closely. First, open the inner swing door by pulling it backward. Then lift it outward and hang it on the door latch to fix it. It's called 들창. This name comes from the verb 들다, to lift up. In hanok, there are so many windows and doors. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to call it 문의 집, house of doors. Can you guess why? There are climatic factors and philosophical factors. There are 4 seasons in Korea. Climate is a very important factor in hanok architecture. However, since it's not possible to rebuild a house every season, they developed a unique housing system to deal with both winter cold and summer heat. For the cold winter, ondol was developed. Ondol is a heating system in which fire passes under the floor to heat the room. So people will be able to sit and sleep on the warm floor. And to get through the hot summer, the floor was raised above the ground, the yard was emptied, and many doors and windows were built for ventilation. Because of this, the hot air in the yard rises upward, and the cold air from the mountain fills the empty yard, making the house cool by using the convection phenomenon. Now let's look at the philosophical aspect. Take a look at these houses. They are all spread out and single story. The style of that gather all functions into one large building, hanok is characterized by having buildings dispersed according to their functions, such as buildings for father, mother, and deceased ancestors, etc. Now take a look at around the house. The house faces the sunny south with a mountain behind, water in front. This is because nature is not something to be conquered, but must coexist harmoniously. In this way, the house does not exist alone, but has become a part of nature. Nature does not just mean mountains, rivers, and trees. Environmental factors such as wind and sunlight are also considered part of nature. Therefore, the houses lived by people who cherish a single breeze of wind and a ray of sunlight did not need to be spacious or extravagant while damaging nature. Look at this picture. The houses gradually get higher as they go back, following the natural slope. For this reason, houses are designed not as spaces divided between inside and outside, but as spaces where wind flows, air circulates, and people communicate with each other. Look at the picture. There are so many doors. Of course, you can also see many doors in the room. The entire building became just one big space by attaching doors and windows to the frame created by the pillars. So all doors function as movable walls. Private space changes into public space by sliding it to the side, pulling it forward, and lifting it up. This is not only a space utilization for holding parties and gatherings, but also serves as a device for communication among family members. Like this, all composition of Hanok focuses on the relationships and connections between rooms rather than their separation. So decorations stay faithful to simplicity. Especially the doors and windows doesn't need to be fancy. No, it shouldn't be flashy. However, if people only pursue simplicity by sticking to the idea of harmony with nature and communication between inside and outside, it may become boring. So they enjoyed exploring variations under one theme and expressing them freely. For example, when it comes to the doors and windows, the theme of communication is shared, but beauty is derived through differences in size and placement. Most importantly, all of these variations were determined by the preferences of the users in the room. So there was no need to distinguish strictly between windows and doors. It was just a frame to capture the scenery. Along with the simplicity that harmonizes with the nature, another important Korean philosophy is embodied in Hanok. This is a pottery named Dal Hangari, moon jar, because it resembles a full moon. And this is a painting of the orchid. And this is the world of Hanok. Did you find the similarities among these three artworks? Yes, Yobek, emptiness, is a technique that represents Korean art. By simplifying colors and leaving space empty, beauty is revealed more clearly and provides room for imagination. In the same context, look at the yard. It's madang in Korean. The yard is empty, or simple with just a single tree or small flowers. Do you know why? As for the climatic factor, as I mentioned earlier, it's for the smooth flow of air. And as a philosophical factor, it's because a scattered building is overlapped. So they created a device to relieve this complexity. I mean, this is so as not to block the view when looking out from the inside. By clearing the yard and creating space, the house became more stable and enriched. As a result, people can fully enjoy the nature surrounding the house. In addition, along with the beauty of emptiness, there is another philosophical foundation of Korean architecture. That is 자경. Literally, it means borrowing the scenery to enjoy it without seeking ownership. This is why paintings are not found in Hanok. Instead, the landscape is allowed to exist as it is, and people enjoy changing landscape by borrowing them. 자경 was done through doors and windows. The house constantly changes every time when doors are opened or closed. The number of cases increases depending on the combination of door opening and closing. So by controlling the directions and degrees of opening and closing, we can appreciate nature through new frames. In the scenery framed by the window, you can hear the sound of the wind and smell the scent of the grass. Here is 명제 고택. When the front door is opened, the screen size is almost 16:9. And when all three sides of the windows are opened, it completes a panoramic view. I have a quick question. Here is 대청 마루, a big wooden floor. Is it indoors or outdoors? In Hanok, there is no attempt to separate the inside and outside. It's a meaningless debate. If this idea reaches its peak, it leads to the creation of a pavilion like this. Here is Manderu. All doors and windows are removed, and all it needs are only pillars to support the building. These pillars form an amazing frame, and finally, the inside and outside became one. In its most static state, people observed the dynamic landscape, which constantly changes with the variations of sunlight. It's a choice of existence over possession.